Good afternoon. What a wonderful day it's turned out to be. It's been actually very, very windy. In fact, it blew my umbrella right down the garden today. Oh dear. And now the sun's shining, which is really, really great. Now, I've got a new story for you, and it could be the last story about Kitty and Droopy, to be fair. So I'm going to tell you how Kitty is feeling right now. She is feeling as rough as a roof cliff. Poor Kitty, she is pleading for help. She is aging by the minute very, very fast. In fact, she is feeling as scruffy as anything. And she just needs some tender loving care and some help. And the reason why is because a few years ago, she went out to play and she met what she thought was a very, very charming person. It was a wild dog, actually. And she was charmed by him, and she was actually taken in by him. And one day she went out to play, and she saw him charming another woman. She did. She saw him charming another kitty. So, she said to him, "Why are you charming this other kitty?" And he said, "No, I'm not." And he tried to bite her. He growled at her and he got vicious and he was really, really nasty. So, when he tried to bite her, Kitty ran away and she didn't care anymore what had happened. She was just really happy to let him go. So she went home to stay all alone by herself. All alone by herself. That's what you do when you're alone. Anyway, she was quite happy to leave him. But what happened was that every time Kitty went anywhere or spoken to any of her old friends or family, the mad dog had already been there speaking to them about what had happened with Kitty, and he said that Kitty was a mad kitty and she had mental issues because she had seen him kissing another doggy. Anyway, Kitty didn't care about this, but all of those friends stopped speaking to her, and all of the family for a time stopped speaking to her, and she was all left alone. But the thing is, 5 years later, the mad dog is still going on and still trying to destroy her life. He will not ever leave her alone. He is causing so much problems for Kitty that it's aging her and it's making her very, very poorly indeed. In fact, she's got a very, very, very bad stress disease. And she has asked for help from the vet, and she has tried to get help from many, many people, but nobody seems to listen. So the last resort was that she called in, well, she met Droopy and she fell in love with Droopy. And Droopy, I'll tell you when they met. They met on a field and he gave her 4 sticks. And she was charmed by these 4 sticks and she actually fell in love with Droopy. Anyway, since then, her and Droopy have been distant friends. And Superman helps Droopy a lot. So, when Droopy hears all about what Kitty's been going through, Superman will rescue Kitty yet again. In fact, Droopy constantly gets Superman to rescue Kitty. But the thing is, Droopy always has work to do in the day, so he doesn't get to hear about all of the nasty things that happen to Kitty. So at night time, Superman comes along when Droopy has heard all about it, and he comes to the rescue. But this time, it could be lethal. Because the problem is, Kitty needs instant rescue now. because this mad, growling, horrible, wicked dog will not leave her alone. And he is still trying to destroy Kitty's life. So the solution is Superman needs to take Kitty to a place of rescue where she'll live happily ever after with Droopy. It's the only way that she's ever going to live properly. It reminds me of the story, actually. Do you remember the story of Sleeping with the Enemy? What was her name? Julia Roberts, Sleeping with the Enemy. It's very, very much like that, except, oh, he was an untidy, scruffy man. This dog was very, very scruffy and very, very smelly. Whereas in in Sleeping with the Enemy, he was obsessive with keeping everything tidy and clean, wasn't he? But anyway, Kitty and Droopy need to be rescued, to live together, to live in happiness, where no mad dog can find them ever again. So I'm calling out for help with Superman yet again to rescue Kitty and take Droopy to a safe place where they're going to live happily ever after and go and have some nice sunshiny holidays and have a good life together. Well, if you could all help me, please, with your prayers and safekeeping, it would be absolutely amazing. Nice to speak to you again. Enjoy your story. Lots of love.